Molly, absent. Mann,
Present.
Vice Mayor, Vice Chairman Christ,
Present.
Mayor Chairman Paris.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Do you want to do the roll call for the Housing Authority?
Housing Authority Member Harvey, absent. Molly, absent. Mann,
Present.
Vice Chairman Christ,
Present.
Chairman Zetto. Here. We have a quorum.
Thank you. The invocation tonight is Bishop Henry Hearns.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council, and to the official staff for the city and for everybody that is here. I want to take just a second and take a little advantage here until you tell me to shut up, and that is, I am so pleased that we started prayer, and when you had come on and took over, and they was trying to stop us, but they forgot that we had a lawyer on board too. And we kept on going. We were still praying and keeping God in front of us. And when we keep God in front of us, folks, you can't fail. Would you join me? I would like to read just 4 verses of Psalms 91, and we will follow that with a prayer. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadows of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God. In Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snares of the fowlers and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. This, His truth, shall be thy shield and thy buckler. Father, we come to you now here in the city called Lancaster, California. And somehow, in some way, and over the years, out of all of the things that could have happened to break it down, you've kept us, and we're continuing to grow, and we thank you for that. Thank you for our city council. Thank you for the staff. And we recognize very quickly and very well that without your guidance, without your wisdom, we can do nothing. But we ask you to bless us tonight, particular blessing on the mayor and the leadership of this city, that everything that they do, that they may recognize clearly that they are not on their own, but under your shadows and under your feathers and under your wisdom. Guide us, we pray, in the precious name of Jesus. Amen. Amen. God bless you.
Thank you, Bishop. Sean, you want to make a pledge?
Please face the flag and recite the pledge with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Larissa, we have a presentation tonight?
Mayor, I apologize. When we look at the agenda, the way we formatted it, it's probably appropriate to go to number 2 first and number 3 and then come back to Larissa. I apologize for that mistake.
You know you're taxing me mentally.
Let's start with presentation number 2.
Captain. You may want to flip that for the audience.
Yes, sir, I will.
No, just flip.
Just turn around. I apologize.
I should have been more specific, sorry.
Good evening.
That's why he's our new captain.
Our esteemed council, mayor, vice mayor, council members, and our city staff, I appreciate and I'm honored to be here in front of you representing the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, and as one of the captains at Lancaster Station.
Our new captain.
One of our, thank you. And I'm here to really emphasize the fact that I'm a member of our community here. And I've been a 36-year resident of the city of Lancaster. And with the strong support of our leadership here from the city and of all of our residents, I'm here to show you that I'm here to support you and work to those goals. And really to show that law enforcement is the community and the community is law enforcement, and meet that standard. And I have the support of some of my family members here in the audience also. But I'm here also to honor, I have the esteemed honor to be here to honor our explorers here that are in front of us. They're a group of young individuals that really work diligently for our community and for our station. And they were instrumental in helping us with our AV Fallen Heroes ride recently. So if I could have them stand up and come up here. So I have a proclamation from the city of Lancaster, a certificate of recognition presented to Cecilia Acuna in honor of your outstanding service at the Fallen Heroes Ride event. The Lancaster City Council commends you for your commitment to excellence in serving the needs of the community. Cecilia? Thank you. Mr. Mayor, did you want to?
I'm thinking we should bring them up here for the photo. And, because.
Perfect.
Okay. Why don't you come on up?
Want to do them all?
Okay.
I'll let you hold that. Jonathan Pites. For a second. Joshua Reyes. Karen Sanchez. Xavier Jackson. Mitzi Perez. And again, if I can take a second to introduce our second captain, Captain Joseph Fender. We can take our picture.
Why don't you come on up, guys?
If you go around, it would be better. You can come up here. Right here.
He just wants it to be perfect. Thank you.
All right, everyone. And 1, 2, 3. And then just another one. 1, 2, 3. Got it. Thank you.
I wanted to introduce Deputy Michael Tong. He just retired 2 weeks ago from the Sheriff's Department. He's continuing on as a reserve, and he's ran our Explorer program for the last 10 years.
You can get in.
Now, if you pull that picture off, I will be impressed.
All right, everybody. 1, 2, 3. And just another one for safety. 1, 2, 3. Got it. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Could you imagine the courage it takes for these young people to put that uniform on at various times when things get difficult. I mean, I'm incredibly impressed that they're able to do that. I think we all should be. Okay. Now we do the pinning, right? And how would you like me to do that?
I'll do a short presentation, and then we'll come down and start introducing the candidates, and then invite their families down as well. Council, it's a interesting time today and a fun time that we get to step into the new phase, or the next phase, of our hybrid law enforcement model, which is the pinning and ceremonial pinning, because they've been employed with us for a while, but the finishing of their training to be law enforcement technicians out in the field. It's an exciting time. They're doing a couple different things. So when we talk about sworn officers, these are not sworn officers. These are going to be working hand in hand with our sworn officers with two major goals. One is to increase customer service level, be the first face that our citizens see in Lancaster, handle some of those routine calls that do a couple things. So if you can picture a non-injury traffic collision, will require a deputy to be off the street managing that non-injury collision. We have two of these law enforcement technicians that are trained to be traffic enforcement technicians. So they will be able to respond quicker to that call, but also provide all the necessary service that a deputy would in that case. Injury collisions are a much different story. As it relates to some of the non-emergent burglary calls, stolen vehicle calls, as it relates to you may have gone on vacation, come home and your home was burglarized, these individuals will be the first ones on scene to help you do that. They'll be trained in DNA capture, or have been trained, DNA capture, fingerprint analysis, and all the necessary functions to do the initial research for that crime, but also put it for the reporting so that you can submit that to your insurance and do the things necessary as it relates to some of those other non-emergent calls. The key to this is in normal cases when we look at, and I apologize, first let me apologize, Chief is not here doing this. He's under the weather, so it is me. He will do a far better job of this. But in the case that if you come back from a non-emergent burglary, you might be waiting a while to get a deputy to come to your home. You may not, you may know it's safe, right, to enter. You may know you're burglarized, but it's going to be a long time for that deputy to get there because it's non-emergent. They're working very hard on other calls. Our officers, or our law enforcement technicians, will be able to respond much quicker. At the same token, those deputies that would have responded now have the opportunity to be in the field handling the major crimes that they're trained to do and that they're capable of handling. So this is really the first step of our hybrid law enforcement model with our employees out there working with law enforcement, co-producing this effort to make sure that, one, we, first of all, increase customer service and speed, which is most important to people. Two, that we increase response times to those critical calls that are necessary, but also response times to those non-emergent calls so that people feel that they're being heard, they're getting handled, and they're handling it quickly. I think what's key, too, is our traffic enforcement. When we talk about the traffic enforcement side, it takes a long time for a deputy to do a traffic report. Every time that deputy is out of his motorbike doing those non-injury traffic collisions, they're not out enforcing our traffic laws. And as you guys know, very, very keenly aware that speeding, injury collisions, fatalities on our streets are significant. They are a direct correlation to the amount of enforcement we do with our motor officers. So this is going to have a huge impact in their ability to perform their duties on a much more efficient level while we're performing the duties on ours as well. So this, I don't want to say it's the first phase. I know Chief mentions that he's the Department of 1. Well, now he's a Department of 9. But he's also got code enforcement office, some other things that we've been working on for a long period of time. So it's an exciting day today. The families are here to celebrate their accomplishments of their loved ones. And we're here to celebrate their accomplishments as a community and as a city council. So with that, I'll start announcing some of the folks. Rex, if you can come down. I'll have the candidates stand over here, family over here. And Andrew Noga, who's one of our managers in the police department. He'll be helping the mayor and delivering the badges. And for those of you, this may be the first public display of our badge. This is our first and current badge. So, candidates here, families here. Right here, Rex. Yes, sir. That's what Noga's going to do. He's good at telling people what to do.
Do you seriously think I should have something with a pin in it?
The family will be pinning them. You'll be handing them the pin, taking a photo together as a council, but also individually as a family.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah. Lauren is in charge. So let's start. These are all of our candidates. Fantastic effort. We appreciate you're here. And there's 2 missing today, so we're going to go over them a little bit later. But we're going to first call up, you've seen him before, Paul Bartlett, being pinned today by his father, Paul Bartlett.
I want you to know, you got number 1.
Wow.
30 years from
Paul Bartlett.
Oh, you're his dad, that's right.
You should know how to do that, too.
That screenplay would be funny.
There you go.
Congratulations, thank you.
Congratulations, number 1.
Congratulations, Dad.
Paul, you might want to stay up here. It's fine. Oh, we'll have the candidates sit there, and then we're going to swear you all in together. The mayor will swear you in.
Okay.
Next on the list is Lakeisha Lowe. She'll be pinned by her son, Christian Lowe. Come on up.
That's your son? Don't you hurt her.
All the times he had to clean his room.
I know, right?
Just like, hey,
Okay, got it.
Thank you.
no, you stay. How are we doing?
We're going to sit them down, and they're going to come and get sworn in.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll swear them in all together. Next up will be Brittany J. Najjar, and she'll be being pinned by her brother, Ryan. Next on the list is Brianna Plunkett. She'll be being pinned by her father, Roger Kaysen. The next individual up will be Jason Vitas. He will be being pinned by his partner, Tamara Gonzalez.
I was wondering who you were. You did good.
I get your blessing.
And last but not least, Melissa Mitchell, and she'll be being pinned by her wife, Hannah Colivo.
Smile. Gotta screw it up for sure. Thank you.
There are two that we're not able to, oh, yes, round of applause. There are two that were not able to make it tonight, Nicoletta Fields and Sandy Viviano. They'll be pinned at a later date, but I would ask you all to stand up and get sworn in officially. Not all of you there, just all the candidates. Come on this way. We're not going to deputize every one of you, yeah. Come up here on this side right here.
Where do you want to do this? You want to take them up there?
Yeah, it's probably good up there.
I think it's a better picture if we go up there. Actually, we should have them, I'll stay down here and they can,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Getting my steps in.
Move down a little.
Do solemnly swear. That I will support and defend. The Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of California. Against all enemies. Foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance. To the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of California. That I take this obligation freely. Without any mental reservation. Or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully. Discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. You are now part of the team. This is historic. No other city has done this concept before. It's an essential part of how we're going to actually bring the enforcement of law back to Lancaster. I'm so grateful you were here because we need you so desperately. Thank you.
Got it, and then another one. 1, 2, 3. Got it. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, guys. Congratulations. Another round of applause for them. Thank you, Mayor. One additional note is the next phase of the operation from the hybrid law enforcement model will be hiring fully sworn, post-certified officers to be represented in the community as well. One item on the agenda tonight on the consent calendar is setting those salary schedules and those personnel items that need to be approved before we advertise. And we'll begin advertising shortly. And hopefully in the next 3 or 4 months, we'll be placing them on duty as well, having a very similar ceremony with our police officers or peace officers I apologize. And they'll be out serving the community very shortly. And that'll be another exciting time as it relates to the growth and operation of our hybrid law enforcement model. So thank you guys for your support. We are, as a staff, and I can speak on behalf of Chief, his staff, that we're really excited about the opportunities that present to have a real impact in this community and change lives. So, and this is a small effort you see today. So we're happy to be here.
Thank you. Back to one. Thank you. I told you I'd mess it up. Clean City, citywide efforts. Trelise, are you making that presentation?
I'm going to make parts of it, but I brought a whole team with me tonight. So we got a lot going on. So good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. Tonight, we are going to be presenting on community beautification and cleanup. I've got 3 teams with me. So Larissa De La Cruz, who heads up our community development team, Marisa Diaz, who heads up our public works team, and then Andrew Noga, public safety team. They're going to run through all the stuff we're doing as it relates to beautification and cleanup, and then I'll kind of come back on the tail end of it and give you a little update on budget and some of the challenges that we're facing in these efforts.
Good evening, Mayor Paris and members of the City Council. We are here this evening, as Charlize mentioned, to provide an update on various cleanup efforts. We will highlight various projects and programs that are underway. And as you will see, this is a multifaceted and collaborative effort amongst various departments. So the city currently maintains approximately 6 million square feet of landscaping within city limits. That is roughly 104 NFL football stadiums, to give you a little bit of perspective there. Our landscaping is in various areas older and in many cases has been overgrown and requires both proactive and reactive responses. Our landscape maintenance team is responsible for the day-to-day management of our contractors who are out in the field daily, maintaining our landscaped areas and working to ensure that they aren't in poor conditions. When it comes to our trees in the city maintains approximately 50,000 trees citywide, which is the equivalent to 294 acres, or to give you more visual perspective, this is approximately 50% of Disneyland and 100% of Magic Mountain. That is the canopy that we currently maintain. It is quite a bit to maintain, but we are diligently working on maintaining, trimming, and replacing trees whenever necessary. In addition to trees, we are also focusing our landscape maintenance district areas, and we have partnered with our capital team to renovate approximately 250,000 square feet of overgrown landscaping, and to visualize that is about 4.5 football stadiums. To give you specific examples of where these changes are occurring, here you will see an example of 2 projects, one on Avenue J between Lowtree and 28th Street West, and the other on Avenue L between Cinema and 19th West. In these areas, we removed stamped concrete, dying and dead trees, dirt, and replaced with new plantings that are drought tolerant and can survive longer. The new palette will also consist of decomposed granite, boulders, and maintaining the appearance. That is also being done to be more efficient with water and decrease the levels of maintenance needed on an annual basis. Here's another example along Sierra Highway, where we removed all of the overgrown bushes, as you can see here in the photo to the left. It was replaced with a very simple palette that is much cleaner, requires less maintenance, and less water. Staff is currently working on redoing the east side and the bike path, and this spring, vertical trees will be installed to create a much more aesthetically pleasing design along Sierra Highway. We have also renovated all of our 3 roundabouts to a much cleaner, drought-tolerant, and decreased maintenance as well, with low plantings, rocks, and low-ground vegetation, as you can see here in the before and after images, the distinction between the old landscaping and the new. Here's another example of a roundabout at 15th Street East and Lancaster Boulevard showing new plant palette as well. Lastly, for this roundabout location, we did renovate the older landscaping, and shortly thereafter, there was an accident that destroyed about a third of the public art at this location, but it has since been repaired, and it looks brand new again, and it is nicely maintained. And with that, I'll turn it over to our Public Works Director, Marissa Diaz. Thank you.
Hello. Cleanup within the city's public right-of-way is a team effort. The Public Works Department employs full-time and part-time staff on the tide crew and graffiti removal crew. In addition, Public Works contracts for illegal dumping services to supplement staff efforts. Community is the most important member of the team, and Public Works actively partners with several community groups. In September 2020, the city formed the Tide Crew, a team dedicated 100% to combating illegal dumping throughout the city of Lancaster. The crew consists of 2 full-time employees and 7 part-time employees. Since the team was created 3 years ago, we have responded to 6,325 service requests. We've serviced 12,731 locations. We've hauled 3,112 tons of waste. We've picked up 2,052 mattresses. We've collected 968 tires. And we've expended 14,330 staff hours to clean up illegal dumping. The graffiti removal crew consists of 1 full-time employee and 1 part-time employee. Together, they are responsible for identifying, documenting, and removing graffiti within the city right-of-way. Over the last 3 years, we've responded to 5,685 service requests. We've serviced 10,872 locations. We've painted over 18 football fields worth of square footage. And we've expended 6,799 staff hours to remove graffiti. From the time a location is reported to eradication, our response time is typically 24 hours or less. In December of 2020, to supplement staff and handle the larger sites, we began contracting for illegal dumping services. This contract allows the Tide Crew to stay mobile and address the smaller sites before they get bigger. Since the contract was created 3 years ago, the contractor has hauled 3,119 tons of waste and worked 592 days, for a total of 6,216 hours. Finally, and most importantly, community involvement is a critical component for maintaining clean and healthy neighborhoods. The city has partnered with several community groups to adopt sections of roadway to coordinate cleanup events. The initial rollout has been very successful and positive. And with that, I'll turn it over to Andrew Noga.
Mayor Parrish, Vice Mayor Chris, council members, commissioners. I'm going to be going over some encampment number cleanups that we have in place for you. We're going to start with 2022, and this work's all done by the endless hours of work from our public safety liaisons. And they do a good job. They go out, and it's every day they're out cleaning up, helping out, doing what they can to make the city a better place for us. If you look at the 22 numbers and you look at the totals, remember what those numbers are as I flip to the next screen. That's for the entire year of 2022. We go to 2023, which is in October. And in 2022, the entire year, we had 73 cleanup locations. Already in 23, we have 85 through October. Posted tents, and by posted tents, that's where we red tag, we post the tents, we give them, the folks, 72 hours to vacate, to clean up their area, and before we come in. We've posted 341 through October of this year. Last year was a total of 234. And if you look at the very bottom number of the tonnage of waste we've collected, all of 2022, we had 267 tons. So far this year through October, it's 426 tons. Again, that is a good job from our public safety liaisons that go out on an everyday basis, work and do whatever they can to keep the city looking good. When we say we post tents, we also offer those folks services to whoever will accept those services and make sure that everybody's taken care of. If you look at this last picture, one way that we are going through and making a difference, we're talking to property owners about fencing their properties. And the property owner fences it. And if you could see, this was McDonald's over off of Avenue I. We all know the location. Before it was fenced, you could see the trash and debris that was there. After we fenced it and have made it, kept the fence up and make a regular route for deputies and our staff to go by and check on a daily basis, you can look, that picture was taken yesterday. So it's made a huge difference. And with that being said, I'm going to pass it over to Trelise. Thank you.
So you saw all the tremendous amount of numbers that we're actually cleaning up and all the stuff that we're doing. So we decided to break out the calculator and see what that actually cost. And when we do, it's about $3 million a year that we're spending on cleaning up. So let's put that into perspective. We spend $1.8 million a year to operate LPAC. So that's all that great programming that we see there, all the good shows that we have. We spend $1.4 million to run the community center and all the community center programming. So we're cleaning up after a very small portion of our residents, spending $3 million. If we didn't have to do that, we could literally have another LPAC and another community center. So let's talk about some of our challenges that we have as it relates to this. First is funding. So county passed Measure H in March of 2017. It was supposed to generate or is estimated to generate $355 million annually in funds to handle homelessness. Since that got passed, our residents have paid in $45 million, and we've received $3.5 million back. We're getting back 8 cents for every dollar that we send to the county for Measure H. So other challenges that we face. There is case law that dictates when we go to these encampments to remove them, we have to post for 72 hours. We have to take their belongings and hold them if they want to leave them for up to 90 days, I believe. We have to offer them a bed. And I put this up here, got beds. So a couple years back, we actually partnered with Insight Development, built Kensington campus. We have 152 interim beds there that offer full wraparound services. Every time our public safety team is going out and encountering these encampments, or these individuals at the encampments, we're offering a bed. 90% of the time, the answer is no, thank you. They don't want to go to the bed. So this all the challenges lead to what I like to call the Where's Waldo story, where we get a call on a Monday morning, hey, there's an encampment over on Avenue I in the McDonald's. So we call our public safety team and say, hey, can you go out there? They go out there, they post it legally, they make contact, takes about a week, we remove that encampment. But you know what happens the moment we remove that encampment? We get the next phone call. They're over at Avenue I and Denny's. So we go talk to Waldo again over there, go through the same process, then remove them a week later. We get the call, Avenue I and the freeway. And we do this day after day, week after week, year after year, for the tune of $3 million a year to our residents. Now, despite all of those challenges, these teams here that just came up and updated you and shared all those numbers, they're doing some amazing things. If you look at a given year, I think they did over 6 million pounds of garbage that we took to the dump last year. So it's pretty tremendous. Hats off to them. Thank you to our public safety team. Thank you to our community development and public works teams for all that they do. That's it for our presentation, and we're here for questions.
Any questions? What will it take to, as much good as they have done, what will it take to double the enforcement?
Well, financially, that as it relates to the cost we're paying now is $3 million. That includes staff time, contract costs, dumping costs, those types of things. So doubling the effort is double the money. And we haven't done the analysis, but we can definitely look at that.
you guys have done a wonderful job, and, I've asked you to remove some of them. You've done a wonderful job doing it, but I think the city still feels it's not good enough. I think we as a city have to do better. We might have to look at other things that we need to take away from the budget in order to pay for it. It's not working.
And it's not going to work. It's not going to work until the entire community recognizes this is not a problem we can fix for you. We just can't, especially when we've got members of the community feeding these people, giving them money, yielding to their panhandling. We pay people not to work. Now, and you wonder, why does it look like that? How could it be that filthy? How could people live in their own filth like this? It's because they're foragers. We've been plagued by them since the beginning of time, where foragers come into a community, they pillage everything they can, they steal everything they can, they take as much as they can, and then they leave this behind. That's the truth of it. These are not people from Lancaster or Palmdale. 5 years ago, we did a measure to see what the community wanted to do. Did they want to pay to alleviate this problem? And they said absolutely not. 68% voted against it. But at the same time, we've adopted this culture of acting like these people are from here, that these people are just down on their luck. That's not the case. Those people seek out help, we give them help, and most of them will get back on their feet. These people aren't from here. They're drug addicts, they're from our prisons, they're from our jails, they're from our mental hospitals that closed down. And why are we opening our arms to them? Because every time we give them $1, every time we set up one of these parking lots where we're feeding them, we're asking them to stay. We have to have a culture, these people are not welcome. We do not want them here. Why are they up against the walls like that? Because they're foragers. And what I mean by that, that is from whom they steal. That is close to the stores from whom they steal. And now we have a district attorney that won't prosecute them. Just keep it under $900. You can take whatever you want. That is the society we have brought in. And if you think the 5 of us, or 6 of us, or 7 of us, or 150 of us can stop it, we cannot. We cannot. We have to have a culture in this community. If you see somebody feeding them, at least give them a dirty look, would you? At least let them know that we recognize that this has become a plague upon our city. And it's going to get worse. Do you know the county is getting ready to move 3,000 homeless people into Palmdale? Not the actual city limits, but into Palmdale. 3,000 more. For the County of Los Angeles, and especially the City of Los Angeles, we represent a way to solve their problem. Do you really want to be that resolution? We need your help. We need a lot of help, and it has to come from your heart, meaning we have to steel our heart, meaning seal it. We have to be recognizing that these people are a threat to our community. If they're from here, we can help them, and we will do everything we can to do that. But most of these people are not from here. They come here because it's safer than Los Angeles. I appreciate, I can empathize that, I wish everybody could live in a safe and secure environment. But I also recognize we cannot sacrifice the safety and security of our hardworking families for people who are not of us. They are not from us. They are not part of us. $3 million a year. A year. That doesn't count the millions and millions we send down to LA on Measure H. I wish I had the power to just fix it. I don't. We have to collectively come together and say no longer in our city. If we do that, we could be successful. But that means our churches, our nonprofits, all of these groups that want to open their heart and feed and take care of these people, look at the result. It's an attractor. It just attracts more and more and more. And we're no longer able to take care of our own. We need your help. We need you to tell your nonprofits and your churches and all of these groups, no, do not feed them. Do not invite them here. Do not bring them in. They are not from here. Those who are, we will do whatever we need to do to get them back on their feet. But if you are not from here, we want you to go. We want you to leave. Quit destroying our community, because that's what they're doing. Thank you for listening to me rant, but it's become a problem that we have to confront, and we have to make the hard decisions. And those hard decisions are not helping everybody. It's helping the people who are from here. There's a difference. And what I mean from here, have you lived here for 3 months before you lost your house? If you have, we need to help you. That's what we're supposed to do as a community. If not, quit bleeding us. Quit looting from us. We have to keep the foragers out. And so we're going to do everything we can to make that happen. It's not going to be pretty. Nobody's going to like it. People are going to be vilified as a result. But so be it. I mean, I've been working out. These shoulders are getting big enough to bear the weight. Okay? Any comments?
You want to talk to them about the system we're developing as far as letting them donate into a box?
Yes. We are developing a system where we're going to put boxes out. I mean, attractive boxes, look like electric utility boxes. You know what I mean. Okay. Every dime you put in there, we will match. And we will use it to get people into housing that need housing. Those people up there on those pictures, they don't want housing. Housing comes with rules. Okay, I can appreciate that some people want to choose to live a life free of rules. I'm okay with that, just not in Lancaster. Do it someplace else. And if we do not get really aggressive, we are a sitting duck for LA. 3,000 are already on the books, plan to move to Palmdale. They know better than to move them to Lancaster. But I don't know that it makes all that much difference. Anything else?
No, I think sometimes we have to have some real blunt, brutal conversations. It's kind of like when you're growing up and your parents are talking to you. And I think we're in different times. And obviously much different today than, say, 10, 15 years ago. And I think that we need to have some real tough conversations. And the community's got to come together and recognize if we're going to try to thwart that, which for the most part, to me, is not being humane. I just really, I sure hope somebody tonight doesn't say, well, this is an uncaring council, because that's far from the course at all. But I also don't think that is humane. And I think allowing it to take place is completely irresponsible from a standpoint of humanity. And I just hope everybody hears the right message tonight, Mayor. I'm frightful that there'll be some people that will misconstrue the message that you're trying to convey.
Well, let's be clear what my message is. I want those people out of our city, and I want us to do whatever's necessary to make them leave our city. The people we're talking about are thieves, thugs, and drug addicts. Make certain we understand what we're talking about. That is who they are. You know, I have all the sympathy in the world, and I honestly, you know, I tend to be a libertarian, let people do whatever they want to do. Just follow the rules and don't hurt people when you do it. That is not them. They are preying upon us. They are dangerous. And I don't know where this will end if we don't come together as a community and say, not in our backyard. You know, it's like we're not supposed to say that. We're saying it. Not here. And let's come together and do whatever's necessary to drive them out.
You want to talk about the Olympics?
And the Olympics are a couple years away. Why are the Olympics an issue? LA has to get those people out of there. I mean, what they are doing in downtown LA, you think this is bad. Go downtown to LA. You can watch people cook up crack. You can watch people inject drugs into their veins with police officers across the street watching it. You can watch people engage in aberrant sexual behavior in front of kids. That goes on every day at Los Angeles. That will not go on in our city as long as we're here. But are we going to be vilified for it? Without question. Without question. We're going to be the ogres of LA County. Bring it on. But we need to protect ourselves. And we need to start doing it now, and we need to be better at it.
I just want to emphasize on the point with the World Cup and the Olympics coming up, similar to what's happening in San Francisco City, that's what's going to happen in LA, and to emphasize that is not what is going to happen here in Lancaster, not in our city, not in our backyard. But again, we take care of our community. So when we do put notices, it's not a, hey, you got to get out of here. It is with open arms. We are here to take care of our community. It's, hey, what do you need? How can we help? Do you need a roof over your head? Are you hungry? Do you need help finding a job? So please, to those people who are living like that, we don't want you to live like that. So there are resources, and we are going to help you fill that gap. But you have to want it for yourself. And if that's not what you want, then please, like the mayor was saying, by all means, keep moving along. But if you're in need, we're a city that loves, and we're a city that cares, and we're going to help you be a contributing member of our society. So please don't, like the council member Mann was saying, we're not villains up here. We just are a community that cares, and that's not a way to live here in the city of Lancaster.
Lauren, I can be a villain. I just need your help being one. Okay. Is that it?
That's it.
So what are we going to do about the 3,000 people coming to Palmdale? Any suggestions?
We tried to help them.
Do we have $3 million extra dollars?
No, wait a minute. 3,000 people from LA being shipped up here, it's not $3 million. That's a lot more than that. When you add all of the services involved, all of the police response time that now goes to them instead of the hardworking people that are paying for it. You know? It's, you know, it seems like we're going from one crisis to the next, but this is a crisis. And if we don't deal with it now, it's going to be catastrophic. Or, I mean, it might just be Lancaster and Palmdale become the homeless center of the country. Instead of what we really are. I mean, we're the engineering center of the country. You know, we create amazing things here. I'm proud of being from the Antelope Valley. I was actually born in Palmdale. You know, and I want my grandchildren to be proud of it too.
How about we give them a welcome packet that has a train ticket to go wherever and a list of resources with all the food banks and all the resources that are down in LA?
You know, let's
We
face
did
it,
that in Hawaii.
a lot of states are doing that.
A plane ticket.
Texas is sending them to LA, you know, Texas is sending them to DC. I want to do whatever it takes to keep our people safe and secure. That's my only priority here. It is not taking care of other people's problems, you know? And I know how harsh that sounds. And, you know, if I wasn't the mayor, I probably wouldn't be saying it. You know, the hat you wear up here has to be a little harder than the hat you wear at home, you know? It causes me a great deal of distress. It keeps me awake at night, you know? It is not my heart, but it is my job. And I will do what my job dictates before I listen to my heart. And I'm sure you will too. I'm sure everyone up here will. Thank you. So Jason, what other joyful news do you have?
Hey, we got to balance it out. It's a story we're telling. It's theater. We got a good news story, and then we got to be the honest one.
We're moving into the consent calendar.
What? Consent calendar? Anything to be removed?
We need to remove CC 14.
And I also have 2 additional comment cards from Selena Guevara and Arson Manson. Are these on the consent, or are you on the consent calendar? What do you want to speak on, please? Okay, so it's not on an agenda item? Okay, all right. And Selena? Are you speaking on an agenda item?
No.
Okay.
A neighborhood wants to come and.
Okay. Thank you.
How many do you have here from the neighborhood? So would you like to do it now? I could put you in front of the agenda rather than keep you here half the night? Okay. Can we do that? Just flip it?
Those are not, yeah, you can pick those.
Okay, good.
Can I show you this picture? This is what we're speaking of.
I saw this picture.
Yes, probably a baby scanner. Our streets have been turned into,
Would you use the podium?
yes.
You know, before you talk, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about that. Those streets qualify for speed bumps.
Yes.
It really takes a lot to qualify for speed bumps because they damage cars. You know, they have a lot of wear and tear on them. But that told us those streets are dangerous. We're a matter of time before we lose some children. You know, that's what it told us. The federal government came up with this grant that said, try this. We tried it, didn't work, we're fixing it. We're pulling it down. It was federal money, it wasn't city money. But I want to be cautious about this. We will always try new things. We will always be innovative in approaching these problems if it looks like it might be a better solution. This was not. You know, we took a risk, didn't work. It's going to take a few more days to clean it up, and then we'll probably do the speed bumps.
That's exactly what we're asking for.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as we saw it, we said, holy no.
We don't have any parking in front of our house. My 95-year-old grandma has to park down the street, and I feel like she's gonna end up being the speed bump that we're needing. Yeah, so our gutters are dirty, our streets.
When we saw it, all of us said, this doesn't work, fix it.
You don't want to know what we said.
That's all we are asking to be heard.
We not only came out, we filmed it, and then, so we filmed it and sent it to Jason, and Jason thought it was a joke. And, you know, it was.
No, I mean, he thought we were joking with him.
That,
Yeah, that was it.
Yes, you can call.
Jason is the city manager, but we all had your same approach.
Okay.
That this just needs to be fixed. But bear with us.
Okay.
What the mayor was saying is that we tried and we relied on another government agency and we messed up. We shouldn't have relied on them.
Well, wait a minute. I disagree with Marvin on that. Sometimes we do disagree.
Yes, sometimes.
Did you also look at they're here too. Both streets?
Both streets, yes. Yeah, it was a bad idea. But I want to be clear. I mean, I think Lancaster has made incredible progress over the years, has done things no other city has done, has confronted problems in a way that no other city has, like our new hybrid police department. But I've made it very clear that sometimes we're going to make mistakes. Sometimes it may not have been a great idea, and we will fix it when that occurs. But that road gives me confidence in the staff that they are trying new things, and they're willing to take risks other cities won't take. And we respond very quickly when we see it might not work. And we will do this. And I'm sorry for the inconvenience.
Yeah, we were never informed. We've never been informed. We came together as a community.
You thought it was going to stay that way, huh?
Yeah.
No way.
We were told by the Public Works that this is going to stay this way for a while, that it's a test, and that it's going to stay until they determine whether it's going to work or not.
And on that
That's
note,
what we
I
were
just want
told.
to say, when I see those little bumps, I can't go slow over them. I'm not going to do this.
No.
It makes me speed up.
Two cars cannot pass together.
That's what we saw.
I speed up. That's what I do.
And I've seen cars actually go all the way to the side where people would be walking and kids would be riding their bikes to try to avoid that.
We've got people walking their dogs in the mornings, on the weekends, we have senior citizens taking their walks. Now they have their dogs in cars. So that should be taken out pretty quick.
That is going to be fixed. I thought it would be already fixed by now.
She barely came out yesterday and talked to us.
We just wanted to stand up and let it be known that this is our streets. This is our community, and we care about our community. We all got together and said we need to make a change. So we thank that you guys see where we're coming from, and that's all we came out here for today.
Thank you.
Everybody else was going on their street, in their backyard, right?
No.
You
No,
know,
I drive that every day.
My biggest
No.
priority, and the city's biggest priority, is the safety of the families that live here. We're always looking for new ways to make them safer. This was not one of those ways. Okay.
Thanksgiving, the family, I come visit for families, the night one, right now, for what? She can't even put her trash cans out.
Yeah, where do you put your trash cans?
And we were concerned because of the no parking signs right there in front of certain people's houses.
No parking.
Like, how is that equal rights? That somebody can't park in front of their street and other people can? In front of their house?
Have you ever heard somebody describe something to you that sounds really great? And then when you see a picture of it, you think, oh my God. That's what this was. It sounded really good. I probably should have asked for a picture first.
Maybe if the street was wider.
It's just a dumb idea, let's be
Yes.
honest.
The picture speaks for itself.
The people who came out to talk to us said April.
April Fool?
No, they said, yeah, that would have been more appropriate.
test is
But
staying
they
there
said
till April.
that till, it's gonna be there till at least April.
No.
Mayor, with your direction, it'll be the next couple days, it'll be gone. We got it covered.
Great, the holidays are coming. We'd love to have our family in our city.
By Monday, this thing will be fixed. Is that
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you. And thanks for coming, though. I appreciate it. Okay? Bye-bye.
And I apologize again, sir. We will make it right.
Worse things are going to happen, unfortunately. But let's hope it's going to be a while.
Motion to approve the consent calendar, pulling CC 14.
Second.
Let's vote. It passes unanimously. 14, what's the deal there? Oh, speaker cards, okay. Joaquin Gill? Now you're prepared.
Yep. So my name is Joaquin Gill, and I'm from the Antelope Valley College. I took a political science class, and I just want to ask some questions about CC14, which is about the new peace officers in the Lancaster Police Department. So one of my questions is what issues, specifically, what issues do the Lancaster Police Department want to fix or resolve?
Well, the biggest issue they want to fix is they want to make the community safe and secure.
Yeah.
Right? Now, we recognize that given the way law enforcement is done in California, we have to add something to that, This has been in the works for several years now. COVID slowed it down. We've dealt with lots of consultants. We've looked at everything other people are doing. And we created the Lancaster Police Department, which will work hand in hand with the Sheriff's Department. The whole idea is to speed up response time and to drive criminals out. And we're going to be looking at a lot of different ways to do that. A lot of them are going to be technological. Like right now, we are solving crimes at an unbelievable rate simply because we know what the license plates were in the area. At any given time, we know all of the license plate numbers that were in throughout the city, and we're expanding that. That means you can walk it back to where they came from. You can see what car keeps showing up at burglaries, if there's a murder, who was there at the time. We have all of that information now. The downside of that is there's privacy issues. I don't want you to know where I've been, not that I've been someplace I shouldn't. It's just, I just grew up thinking that's not a good idea. So what we're working on is how long do we keep the data? How long do we need to keep the data to catch the bad guy? And then we erase it. I don't think we should be able to go back into time, go back 3 years to see where people have been, because now with AI, they'll tell us. It just generates a report that fast. That's just one of the things we're doing. We're installing these microphones all throughout the city. Gunshot goes off, Sheriff's Department's going to know it in seconds. Seconds. And they will have a pretty good idea of what the caliber of the weapon was. Does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah, pretty much. And I also have another question that kind of affects my family or where I live.
I'm sorry, could you say it again?
I also have another question that kind of affects my family and where I live. Because I kind of live in a bad area. You know how East Side just has just a little bit more criminals than other areas? I know that downtown also has it's a pretty bad area. But are you going to put more officers in more dangerous areas and
Yes, of
less
course.
officers? Huh?
The problem we're having is the Sheriff's Department is running 46% below the number of people they need, the number of deputies they need. 46% every given day. That means half the force they need is what they're having to work with. As a result, these guys are working double shifts. Some of them are having to sleep at the station. What we're doing to our deputies is unconscionable. I mean, we should feel really bad. But what choice do we have? We need to keep the people safe. And they're doing it with half the officers they need to do it. And then when they do it, you know, we've got the federal government requiring all kinds of paperwork, you know, that is senseless. It makes no sense at all. But they have to fill it out. You know, what should take 10 minutes now takes a half hour, you know? So we have half the people. The federal government has overloaded them with the work they have to do. And that's one of the reasons why we're doing the Lancaster Police Department, because we don't have an agreement with the federal government. We will do it the way it should be done, not the way they want it done. You know? And I'm hoping that within the next well, we're already seeing crime dropping. I mean, we've only been up and running for a month now, and we don't even have the officers yet, and crime is already dropping. I'm hoping to see great progress made in the next year because of this. If we can deal with this homeless issue, which accounts for a huge amount of our crime, then we can get back to being a community. You know, it shouldn't be this hard. And I don't think it would be if it was just us. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you for coming out.
Yep. Thank you. And I really appreciate the effort that the peace officers are putting because I really need them right now.
You.
Thank you.
Joseph Grande.
Hello, Mayor and council members. I am also in political science at Antelope Valley College, and I want to be involved with law enforcement, help law enforcement do its job well when I grow up. So I see here it says that the Lancaster Police Department is supposed to address the root causes of crime.
That's one of the things, yeah.
Yeah. How do you guys plan to have the police department address that? What does that mean?
I'll help you.
Good.
Okay. And I'll give you a couple of specific examples. We had a hotel that was a very high crime, basically a crime magnet, right? If you would assume all the crime that is caused from these bad actors living in this hotel, the call volume was being generated by the hotel. So that hotel was the, I guess, hub of this criminal activity. We had the opportunity to come in not only with law enforcement, because some of these, as the mayor mentioned, some of these things that are happening there are no longer crimes. The DA doesn't enforce it. You can't imprison somebody because of it. So we're limited in our enforcement tools, but we're not limited in the enforcement of that bad actor as a property owner. So we come in with the sheriff's department. We come in with code enforcement. We come in with public health. We come in with the fire department. We come in with all these different resources to basically, we shut down that hotel. So all that crime that was happening at that hotel no longer exists. So that would be an example of the root cause. Some other things that we find in some of the investigations, and at the same token, we don't take as much deputies' time because of those calls. There was 900 calls happening at that facility in 2 years. That facility no longer operates, so those calls are gone. That is the root cause of crime, and we have the opportunity to do that. Homelessness that we're talking about. We've got the Public Safety Office, and Andrew Noga's leading that office, is going out there and cleaning up homelessness. That's a root cause of crime. They're looking at, from a standpoint of public services and social services aspect of our hybrid law enforcement model, where you take shoplifters, which is no longer a crime, and have an administrative citation process where you get more of a ticket instead of getting nothing. So there's a lot of these things that are happening. We can call them broken window theories, some other things like these low-level crimes that are the root causes of much bigger crimes.
Okay. Now, I know you were saying that homelessness is a big problem. May I ask, why, how much crime do homeless people cause? Or, do you have any, statistics?
We're compiling those stats now, but we do know that over 50% of the, I hate to say homeless. They're not homeless. They're living exactly the way they want to live. They're transients. They don't want to have rules. And okay, good, do it, but just do it someplace else. The homeless to me is people who fall on hard times and now can't pay their rent. That described my family when I was a child. There were times we were evicted. We had no place to go. The church helped, got my parents back on their feet, back into housing. Those people I will do anything for. I mean, my wife and I feed 200 to 300 kids every Sunday because a lot of these kids can't eat on weekends. You know, they don't have the ability to do that. But there is a difference. There's a difference from people who just need some help to get back on their feet, as opposed to people who like the lifestyle for whatever reason. It's not for me to say to like it or dislike it. It is for me to say, if you're going to live it, you follow the law. The law should apply to all of us, regardless of putting a tag on yourself saying you're homeless. You're not homeless, you're a forager, you're a camper, you know? And you're bleeding on, well, I've already said it. I could rant forever. I'm tired of ranting, and we're starting to do something about it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
That will be all.
You know, when I was at AV College, I couldn't imagine coming up here and having to speak at that microphone. I mean, that takes courage. It just does.
Motion to approve CC 14, adopting resolution 23-65.
I'll second that motion.
Let's vote. It's unanimous. Public hearing item?
Yes.
Okay, let's go to public hearing item number 1. TEFRA hearing approval of exempt facility bonds for the Village at Beechwood Apartments.
We have no speaker cards.
Let's waive the,
We need to open the public hearing and provide the opportunity to speak.
you know, I was going to say that, and he knew that if he distracted me, I would forget again. I blame Marvin for that. Let's open the public hearing.
We have no
No
speaker
staff
cards.
report. Can we just vote?
We can close the public hearing and vote, yes.
Close the public hearing. Let's vote.
We do need a motion in a second.
Motion to approve PH 1.
You know,
Second.
we call this elder abuse.
I was distracted too. I don't know what we call that.
Okay. So motion in a second, let's vote. And it passes unanimously. CPH 1, continued public hearing. Any speaker cards?
None.
Let's open the public hearing. Let's close the public hearing. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve CPH 1 and resolution 23-60.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Let's vote. And it passes unanimously.
Turn the meeting over.
Joint,
You're going to turn it over to Kitty.
Kitty.
oh, and I get to leave.
Housing Authority.
I'll be back.
You don't have to.
Yeah, you don't need
You
it.
don't have to leave. No.
But I want to leave, I want to.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. You do not have to leave. You are not recusing yourself. You can stay if you'd like. And in fact, oh, then never mind. Wait.
All right, joint public hearing, JPH 1. We'll open the public hearing. Are there any speaker cards?
We have no speaker cards.
I do have one item to note for the record, and that is the business identified in the public notice has incorporated an LLC since the publication of the notice for this hearing. It is now Racine Shirley Investments LLC with the same principles, the same background, and all the same experience, simply a different name, and I wanted to note that for the record.
All right, thank you. We'll waive staff report. Public hearing is now closed. Motion and a second?
I'll make the motion, we adopt Resolution 23-67, adopt HA 4-23, and give the executive director to execute all related documents and noting the changes.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All right, do we need a audible vote?
Housing Authority Member Mann,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Christ,
Yes.
Chairman Zetto.
Yes, and it passes unanimously. Turning the meeting back to the mayor.
Yeah, that was a joint item, so we will need the city council to also approve Resolution 23-67. So, Mr. Vice Mayor, if you would like to
Okay.
take us through that?
We'll open the public hearing. Do you need to change anything?
Yes. Since the publication of the notice, the business in question incorporated an LLC. It is now Racine Shirley Investments LLC with the same principles, background, and experience.
Okay, we'll close the public hearing. I'll move we adopt Resolution 23-67, adopt Resolution HA 4-23, and authorize the executive director or his designee to execute all other documents that have been changed.
I'll second that.
Let's vote. Not yet. It passes 3-0, unanimous. Now we're done.
Back to me?
Back to you.
Good, thank you. New business item 1. Who's presenting on that?
No speaker cards?
I still want the presentation.
Before you for consideration tonight is Resolution 23-68, a resolution that would put before the voters of the city a vote to gauge public sentiment on exploring and potentially establishing a drug treatment program similar to Teen Challenge. This is an advisory measure only. It would be to provide input from the voters. It would not be binding on the council. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Is there a motion?
Motion to approve NB 1, 1, 2, and 3.
I'll second that motion.
Let's vote. Passes unanimously. City manager.
Took him. Thank you, Mayor. A couple quick updates. The Parks Program Magical Boulevard Christmas is coming December 9th, so be prepared for that. That's another one of our fantastic events from the Parks Department. Free hip-hop workshop at Jane Reynolds Park. Come and join us there. There's our Senior Walk Club. I know, Mayor, this is close to your heart. You asked that we put on a Senior Walk Club. That's every Wednesday, 9 a.m., so it's happening at Prime Desert Woodland. Come out and join us. There's a whole list of stuff here from the Parks Department, so big shout out. I'm going to go through every one of them, but there's some fantastic work they're doing over there. And community development, the Shop Small Saturdays on every Saturday in November, so you'll see a lot of marketing about shopping local. Obviously, we know it's Christmas time, and it's time to start thinking about our local vendors and our local shop owners to start shopping local and thinking local. And they've got a number of different programs coming out, including the expansion or the further execution of our Shop Local Cards program, which will be coming out shortly. And then we've had a couple videos. So last Tuesday or last Wednesday, we did a State of the City address, which all of you attended. And it was a fantastic job. I'll give our communications team a shout out for the work they've done, as well as anybody that assisted on that. But we got a short video on that, and I'm sure the council may want to comment.
What is up, Lancaster? I am Tiffany Johnson,
your host and MC for today's event, one of the biggest events of the year that all of us look forward to in our community of Lancaster, the State of the City. How does it feel to be here with so many vendors grouped together in your community and celebrate the growth of the city of Lancaster?
It's fantastic. I mean, it's an environment which is pushing hydrogen forward, whether it's on the production side or on the technology front, which we're a part of, and it's great to be part of that community.
We've had folks who have been just didn't think they would be able to purchase a home. Just living in Los Angeles County, it can be extremely difficult. And so folks who do get approved to purchase a home with us just talk about how life-changing the experience is for them and for their families.
Thank you to Mayor Paris. Thank you to Vice Mayor Chris, the rest of the council, but really thank you to all of you for allowing me to stand here. Hopefully you didn't bring tomatoes. But to just introduce myself and to talk about the recent successes and excitement here in Lancaster. I'm happy to report that attendance at all of our events has skyrocketed.
We are blessed with a staff in this city that loves the people in this city. And I think you see it. In this city, we don't have rear view mirrors. We are focused ahead. Our whole reason for being is to make this city a magnificent place for our children.
In my nearly 35-year law enforcement career, I've never worked for a council and a mayor who are more prepared to do whatever it takes in the name of public safety. We're going to bridge technologies. We're going to bring you some of the most highly experienced, well-trained, and well-equipped police officers that we can possibly get.
Thank you for letting us love you, because we do.
That was a great day, wasn't it?
Yes. Staff did excellent job.
We also have a short video on our first-time home buyers program. It is available to all who qualify. So contact our Economic Development Office and our Community Development Department. They can help you through those things, and we have a video to show about that.
The stark reality for many Americans throughout the country is that achieving the American dream of owning a home is becoming less and less likely. I'm Jacobo Garrido reporting for L28 News. And right now, Lancaster is implementing the first-time home buyer program, which is assisting local residents to achieve their dreams.
Oh, we are so thankful. We're thankful to the mayor. We're thankful to the city council, to the city, and it's just it's a prayer that has been answered from God.
The city of Lancaster is opening new doors to local residents with its groundbreaking first-time homebuyer program. In the competitive Southern California real estate market, owning a home can often seem like an unattainable dream. However, Lancaster is changing the game by offering a helping hand to those looking to make their first step into homeownership. This program is designed to empower local residents by providing financial support, guidance, and valuable resources to navigate the intricate processes of purchasing their first home. The program aims to make homeownership more accessible for Lancaster's hardworking individuals and families.
You know, that first home is the difficult one, you know? After you get the first home, things just sort of fall in place. The first-time home buyer, though, is quite shy. You know, you don't really think about all you have to do now. Hardworking people need a little help, and that's what we're giving them.
You know, home ownership is attainable. And through programs such as this, you know, the city of Lancaster stands ready to help and support our community members.
That concludes my presentation, but I'd also like to note Channel 28 or L28. I had the opportunity, because I was not feeling well, staying at home, and I took that opportunity to watch every video that L28 and our new television station has done. They're doing a phenomenal job. I would encourage everybody in the community, get your YouTube, subscribe to the program, watch L28. It's going to keep you informed. It's going to entertain you. It's going to give you information that makes your life better. And a shout out to our team who's putting that together. They're just doing a phenomenal job. So L28 YouTube channel, subscribe now.
Good advice. If you haven't seen L28, you really should. It, you know, we became aware that, you know, we used to have Channel 3, you know, cable Channel 3, local news. It was real news. It went away. There really isn't any real local news anymore. You know, the papers have shrunk. It seems to be all social media. And so we asked these young people, you know, create a channel, a television channel. They had very little experience, and they did. And they did a great job. And it's, for the most part, local people who grew up here. I just really recommend it. I'm really proud of them. Thank you. Okay, council reports.
We'll start with me. I want to report out that both Lauren and myself attended the community dialogue with Sheriff Luna this last week. And my understanding, it's one of many. And we broke up into groups. We got to interact. The sheriff was in all the different breakout sessions. And I think there was some great learnings, I think, just on the first takeaway. And there was a recap done at the close of the evening. Do we have a video on that? If we could maybe show that.
Are we clear? Yes. Okay. Rock and roll.
This meeting is the first of several Lancaster Community Dialogue events, because we are here collectively as a community, as one. We either make it together or we fail together. If we want Lancaster, Palmdale, the Antelope Valley to be the community that we want it to be, we have to work very hard together. We're going to disagree on some things, we're going to agree on others.
Thank you. Any more?
I think it should be pointed out that we did have the opportunity to pick a new captain. I think last Wednesday, we were given 4 candidates by the sheriff department to choose from, and I think we picked a very good candidate. Just some facts that I think we've all learned in the last couple of days, that our station is by far the busiest station in LA County. We have the largest contract in LA County, and it's so busy, they've decided to give us 2 captains. One just will be doing the paperwork, and the other one will do operations. But to give that, to break that up, we have over 80,000 calls per year from this station for service. So my hat's off to you guys, and congratulations to you both.
He's not the paperwork captain, he's the administration captain.
Yeah, you are.
This day and age? Oh, I bet.
There's a lot of people.
Anyone else? Got something?
So this last week, we got to do Youth for Justice at the Antelope Valley Fair. The mayor and some members of the council were also present. We serviced over 200 students with career workshops, interactive workshops like the Don't Shoot Simulator, workshops at the FBI, CDCR, judges and attorneys from Los Angeles Superior Court, the Department of Homeland Security, the National Park Service, Lancaster Public Safety, and we worked with organizations like the Antelope Valley Union High School District. It was a field trip for the students, and Future Leaders California. We got to kick off Just Snap It from our last meeting at Youth for Justice, where we already have at least 5 students from all the 5 high schools signed up to be on the steering committee, so that's very exciting. And again, the target for this was a balanced approach to justice and to help young people find their career pathway in law enforcement. I also went to the State of the City. That was awesome. And it's so good to see the young people from the college come out here. I think that, so I'd like to add to how our public safety department, our new police department is going to help those root causes, is the community component. It's not only our public safety department coming to the community, especially the youth, but it's you coming to us and telling us how should we be getting to the root causes. That's what's special about this city. And I'm just really proud to be here. So yeah, it's been a great month, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Thank you, Sean. It was a great program that was put on with the Sheriff's Department in the high schools. What did you call it?
Youth for Justice.
Youth for Justice? I went over there and watched what they were doing. It was commendable. You know, it was the kids educating the officers and the officers educating the kids. And it was a good event.
2 quick things. I just want to say thank you again to the Lancaster Cemetery. They put on a wonderful Veterans Day ceremony, so thank you again. And then thank you to our incredible parks team. We celebrated the 10th Fields of Draft, and if we could play that video for everyone.
The community coming together. People come, and if you watch, you'll see they see their friends that they haven't seen in a while. They see their neighbors. Everyone loves coming to this event, and it really is about seeing the people you know, celebrating our community together, and creating memories with your friends and family.
About camaraderie, getting family, friends together, and then today, it's like, look at this weather. It is perfect weather for drinking beer.
I'm looking forward to it all. I'm so excited. Just walking in here and feeling the electricity. The environment is incredible. There's so many people enjoying themselves, connecting with others over a beer.
This is just like the Antelope Valley Fair. It's a destination now. So we thank everyone and appreciate everyone for being here.
We got the best parks department anywhere. They just don't know how to spell parks.
We spell it wrong on purpose. It's right for us.
Oh, I was confused.
Mayor, one last thing. Lauren mentioned about the veterans celebration out at the cemetery. And I just want to remind everybody, every year they do Wreaths Across America. And I know that they're still looking for some donors to be able to make that a success at Christmas time, where they put a wreath on every veteran's gravesite. So if you haven't considered potentially giving some money to the cemetery district, you can either go online or you can visit the cemetery, and they'll be glad to take your money to make sure that we honor those veterans.
Thank you. City Clerk.
This is a time to address the City Council Agency Authority on non-agendized matters. Speaker cards can be found on the back table of the council chambers. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each unless a different time limit is announced. State law prohibits the City Council from taking action on items not on the agenda, and your matter may be referred to the city manager. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for bearing with me, but a whole group of people who had speakers cards have left, so we're going to have to sort it, okay? Joshua Hose? Who's? Help me with the last name.
It's Who's.
Who's? Thank you. You're from the college.
Yes, I'm from the college. I also am doing a political science class. I just have a quick question for you guys. I know you guys are doing a lot of community cleanup and stuff, but I've been seeing around the valley driving and stuff. I want to know, like, what are your actions to making the roads nicer and smoother for our community? Like, I know we're doing stuff with the freeway right now, and so I just want to know, like, what is the budget and what actions are you taking to make our roads nicer and clean?
Now, it's 6 o'clock. Do you have a curfew?
No. We're good.
It would take that long to answer. You know, oftentimes people get confused as to where the jurisdiction lies. You know, the freeway is not us. In fact, Marvin had to go beat Caltrans up so that they didn't close it down for months and months and months. A lot of what we do is just interfacing with other agencies, trying to get them to make better decisions. But I think you've been watching this council meeting, you see just how multifaceted and how complex it is to keep things moving forward and deal with the problems along the way. It's significant, you know. We're blessed with a young staff, which means an innovative staff, a creative staff, you know. I find as the people get older, they kind of lose that sometimes, but not here, not here. Anybody want to help me out here?
We spent $50 million in the last several years repaving all the roads. I think we named it Celebrate 25, or we did all of our roads, went through them, paved them, resurfaced them, and made them better. So all of the roads in Lancaster should be upgraded. But everybody has to understand just how long it takes. Me and Ken obtained over $100 million to redo the intersections. And those intersections just got approved 6 months ago.
How long did it take?
12 years.
12 years.
So it takes a while.
It's shocking to me how slow government is. You know? I mean, I get mad at the office if it takes 12 minutes.
Does that help you?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
helps me.
and
Thank you. Have a good night.
So one last thing, Trelise, do I have the number right? We've done 240 some miles, road lane miles so far?
That was just with the $50 million road bond.
Correct. So if you wanted to know, when the vice mayor made reference to spending $50 million, so we've resurfaced, repaired, at this point, 247 miles worth of road.
Do you, real quick, do you know, like, in the future, kind of like a ballpark where you guys want to be in that, or like have an expected number of like a target goal of where you're trying to hit of how much money or less money to pave these roads?
Well, we look at it on the whole budget. You know, the goal is to actually make it so we could lower taxes and do more. And we're actually doing that. I mean, in the last 10 years, we've created avenues of revenue that other cities just don't have. You know, that we just got innovative and creative. But as to how much we're actually going to need to manage the city depends on the population and what that population is. You know, right now we're if we can continue to increase the population of hardworking families, this is going to be an amazing place. If instead we start taking care of LA's homeless, and there's millions of them in LA, I think it's obvious what happens, right?
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Marlon Gonzalez. You
Good
guys
afternoon.
practiced these questions, didn't you?
No, not really.
Well, you're better than last time.
I have a bit more of a general question. What are some of the biggest issues that you're combating right now, and what are the problems that you're facing trying to resolve those issues?
Well, I think it might be different for all of us depending on our you know, areas of interest. The biggest problems for me as the mayor that I see coming is there's a big contingent of people that want to defund the police. And not only do they want to defund the police, they want to create a culture, you know, and they successfully have, I think, in a large part of the state, where people don't want to be police officers, you know, and look what's happening as a result. You know, right now, public safety is my biggest concern. What I would like to be focusing on is educating young people, especially, you know, 5, 6, up through the 3rd grade, because that's where it has the most impact. You know, we're finding that kids who can read at a 3rd grade level actually live 10 to 15 years longer. It solves so many problems if we just put more energy in that demographic. But instead, we're dealing with these idiots that want to shoot drugs. You know, it's disheartening at times. I mean, we could do so much more if that 1% of the population wasn't sucking away our resources. But for some reason, a large part of the population wants all the energy and resources to go to that 1%. You know, that's not how life works. It's not how the world works. You have to make hard decisions, and not everybody can be taken care of. And until we recognize that, you know, I don't know where this ends. It's, I used to sleep a lot better than I sleep now. Well, okay.
With that kind of understaffing of police officers, is it becoming
Louder, please.
Is it becoming more of a struggle to get younger people to become police officers, and what are you doing to sort of push them towards that?
Well, I think unfortunately because of things that happened in other part of the country, you know, and some things that happened in LA and California, the public perception of police officers has deteriorated to such a point nobody wants to be one, which to me is, you know, I tried to be a deputy sheriff. I didn't make it through the interview, but you know, my brother was a captain in the highway patrol. I think it's an amazing. It's only supposed to go when he's talking, not when I'm talking.
That was Marvin.
You know, I think society is at a crossroads where decisions have to be made. Just what kind of society do we want? And, you know, We cannot allow 1% of the population to dictate the future of the 99%. And I'm seeing that happen more and more frequently. We've got to make hard decisions, you know? Okay?
Okay, that'll be all. Thank you.
Thank you. Selena Guevara? I think she was with the other group. Arson Manson? Good evening.
Thank you very much. Very positive. I've been here 10 years ago. I want to tell about positive because people don't know. Happy New Year coming. Where is come Santa Claus? He's been Saint Nicholas and he stay for justice. His father Santa Claus. He's born in Turkey. He's been Greek Armenian nationality. In story have him mama name, papa name. Where is coming Santa Claus? And I ask you help for justice, about safety and justice, because I have a business in Lancaster. I clean free street and pay taxes and been in trouble. I want to ask you personal appointment because I discriminated more than 10 years.
I'm having trouble hearing you.
I've been discriminated more than 10 years. I've been here in October 2013. I asking you to show justice, help me to get justice. I want to get personal appointment with you and detail it about safety and justice and how to maybe help you to more workplace in your Lancaster.
Staff will set that up. Okay, I'll be happy to meet with you.
God bless you.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, I ask an appointment with you personally.
No, I understand what you want. They'll set it up. Okay, I'll be happy to do that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Rafael Ibarra? You got really little handwriting.
Sorry.
That's okay.
This just happens. Good evening, Mayor Paris and the city council members. I heard you when you're on your speech on homelessness. Just
A little closer to the mic, please.
Sorry, I was hearing your speech or your rant about homelessness, and you mentioned how
I can call it a rant. You can't.
you called it. I'm just repeating what you said, sir. I'm sorry. But you had mentioned that a lot of these people are former prisoners, formerly mentally ill, and do you think there'll be like an increase of domestic violence or sexual abuse in like places like Palmdale or Lancaster? And how do you think you will combat this? How do you think you'll combat probably a potential increase in just abuse in these cities?
You know, we are doing a lot of things in that regard. We're bringing mental health facilities here. We have that mental health or urgent care. We're actually putting a lot of resources and energy into the mental health which leads to domestic violence situations. But it is not the only thing we should be doing, you know? I mean, we first have to protect the hardworking families that contribute to the community. And I just think that we've allowed it to become unbalanced, you know? But that doesn't mean we shouldn't be continuing to develop mental health programs, continuing to develop drug addiction programs. The Teen Challenge is an example of that. It does mean, though, that I don't want to take care of other communities' problems, meaning I don't want LA shipping their drug addiction problems to us. And it requires sometimes some harsh decisions, you know?
I get what you mean. No, I honestly get what you mean, but no, I get what you mean. It's a huge burden.
35 years ago, I was a drug addict. I don't know that anybody has as much compassion for drug addicts as I do, or as much hope for people who are drug addicted, that they can rise above it. if given help. I was given help. But as mayor, it's my job to protect the city first, and that's what I'm doing.
All right,
Okay?
Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Biani? Come on down. Rios, right? Yes. Thank you. Tell me the truth. Did you practice these questions?
No, actually, how do you
Coming
say
in
it?
cold, huh? Okay.
Okay, so my name is Biani Rios. I am currently a student in ABC, Political Science with Professor Don. I've been in Lancaster for the past 5 years now, newly resident, and I've seen a lot of changes. And I am actually, this is the first rainy season that I experienced, and there was a lot of floods all over the streets. And I was wondering if you guys have any plans of updating the sewer system.
You know, when they do flood control, it's based on statistics as to what is the likelihood of different things happening. I'm incredibly impressed with how well we're controlling floods because I was born here. I mean, I remember having to walk with water up to your knees, you know, to get to your car. I mean, it's an amazing process what it takes to move water. But when you have events like happened this year, they're unplanned for. You know, it's called 100-year storms, things like that. And so what traffic engineers and what city planners and the people who do flood control plan for is probabilistic things happening. What is likely to happen, and what is it going to cost to be ready for it? To be ready for a 100-year flood is a fortune. It's not the best use of your money. Decisions are made, okay, we're going to have to bear that if that happens. Last year was one of those things we had to bear.
Yeah.
We did see, though, areas that could do improvement, and so we're working on that now. But moving water is really a complicated science, you know?
Yeah, because it hit me really hard because I'm like me. I live around the corner from the Woodland Preserve, and that's the most affected area, like really flooded. And I actually couldn't go to work. I had actually
Couldn't get out of your house.
No, I
yeah.
couldn't get out. Yeah.
I know we put a lot of people over there trying to help that area. But can I tell you that it might not happen again? Well, if it happens again, then we'll drop the money into it because it's a fortune.
Well, we're expecting rain, so.
We're not expecting the rain we had this year.
This year. Well,
Hopefully. Yeah. And you know, the other problem we have is climate extinction in general. It's disrupted weather patterns so much, these guys really don't know what to expect.
Right.
You know, this will be the hottest year in history, recorded history that, you know, since people lived on this planet. And we're afraid it's going to be a cold year 10 years from now, you know, to be referred to as one of the cool years. Things are changing so dramatically, these guys, it's difficult. But we're doing the best we can, okay?
And I appreciate that. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Leanne Carlisle? Leanne, you sent me an email.
Yes, several.
And Brittany called you, right?
Yes, she
And the
sure
city's
did.
called you?
Yes,
And we have a major operation in place.
yes.
And so I don't want to say too much.
And I don't want to say too much either, except thank you
You're
to
welcome.
all of you. Because yesterday was a banner day. I got a call from 3 people saying what they were going to do to help us. And I'm here with some of my neighbors, and we're just here to say thank you to all of you for what you're doing.
That is so nice.
Just appreciate that.
Thank you. You're going to be happy.
Yay.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
I do have just a couple of letters I want to give you that my neighbors couldn't get to me last time when I talked to you. Can I give them to them?
Yes, of course, but I want to tell you folks, and you tell your neighbors, your friends and all, we're going to be inspecting every apartment. Right? That place gets better or somebody else owns it.
Oh, thank
Okay.
you so much. Thank you. Appreciate you all.
Oh, and thank you for your emails, Leon. Thank you. Stella Cordova? Anita Bradford? Jean Fuller?
You did say Jean Fuller?
Yes.
Good evening, Mayor Paris
Good
and
evening.
the chamber members here. I'm here basically as a concerned grandmother and mom. My daughter and her family live here. And I have to say, I was most impressed with the presentations I saw here this evening about your addressing the homeless situation. It has grossly gotten out of hand, not your fault, didn't happen overnight, can't be taken care of overnight. But I feel the things that you are addressing and the ways that you are going at them is going to definitely produce a positive result. So thank you for caring, and thank you for everybody here. Most of everything was addressed during your meeting, my first one here. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
2 in a row, that's a record.
No, it's not. It just feels like it at times. Seffi Toneman?
Seffi, make it good.
About to be 3 in a row.
Okay.
We were talking about you in a
Oh,
meeting
no.
today.
Oh, no.
You're making quite an impression on people.
Oh. Well, like my friends had said, thank you so much for letting me speak. You answered most of what I was here for earlier in the presentation, which was incredibly informative, impressive. We are so excited about what you guys are doing. I did prepare a few remarks, though.
Seffi, wait a minute, before you start. It cannot be what us guys are doing. The only way we're going to fix this is if the entire community comes together and recognizes and decides, how do we want to live?
Mm-hmm.
If we make that collective decision, I have no doubt we can drive these people out. But if it continues to be, fix this, they can't, the sheriff's department can't fix this without the entire community coming together to solve it, okay?
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you clarified that, because in my remarks, the one question that it was all leading up to isn't what you're doing, but what can I be doing every single day to help you out? Like I said, you answered a lot of my questions, and you made some really great points about the nonprofits that we're supporting and the decisions that we're making on a daily basis, and we're going to spread that word for certain. You know, I have lived here my entire life, and for the first time, I'm concerned about my safety. And I'm sick of it like everybody else. The panhandling, the escalating crime, you can't walk into a single shopping plaza without seeing it, being hit up for money, being masturbated in front of, and what's even worse is when my kids are with me. I don't even let them come to the grocery store with me anymore, and that's not the life in the Antelope Valley that I want my kids to be raised in. It's not the one that I grew up in. And you know, I know that you haven't minced words about the task ahead, and so that's why we wanted to come tonight, and we have a whole group of people that we've been speaking to since the State of the City address last week. That's what really motivated this effort. They are waiting to hear what we heard tonight so that we can continue to spread the word of what actions you need us to be doing to support you, to support law enforcement every single day, big ways, small ways. If you give us the instruction, we will spread the word and we will do the work. We are ready. So we just need real instructions. We need specifics. And you tell us what to do, and we are going to do it.
Stop feeding the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, tell your pastors
Yes,
Tell the
okay.
nonprofits you contribute to, if you continue to do this, we will contribute elsewhere. It is no longer a question of Christian charity. It's a question of giving aid and comfort to the enemy. Because let's not mince any words. These people are the enemy to our way of life. And we can continue to bear it, or we can fight. It's time to fight.
Agreed.
Thank you, Sophie.
Thank you, you guys. Thank you so much. And please, I know I'm going to continue to be in touch with the folks that I know at the city. Anything you can think of that we can be doing so that we can get the information out there, we're ready to hear it.
Communications is up there listening, and
Yes.
we will be working on the next 10 days of preparing the information and material that will help her do that.
Be wonderful.
Okay?
Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, now that's a record, 3.
That's never happened before. Thank you. Omar Rodriguez? I love the way you two are color coordinated.
Hello and good evening to everyone here.
Good evening.
My name is Omar Sanchez Rodriguez. I am a student at Antelope Valley College, and my professor, Macadon, assigned me to ask you guys a question here today. In an article by Antelope Valley Press published December 15, 2022 states, the Mayor Perez said, the Antelope Valley healthcare system is already overextended and poor people in the Antelope Valley die years, sometimes decades earlier than those living in Los Angeles. Now that it has been almost a year has this statement was stated, my question is, what has been done to improve the situation of the healthcare here in Lancaster?
You got to help me. I didn't hear the part. I didn't hear my quote. What was
Oh,
it?
sorry. Let me repeat that for you. Paris said, the Antelope Valley healthcare system is already overextended and poor people in the Antelope Valley die years, sometimes decades, earlier than those living in Los Angeles. My question is, what has been done to fix this issue?
I'm trying to remember the name of that group that just opened up. Well, they've been here, but they opened up that new facility.
Yeah, the Wesley Clinics.
Yeah, Wesley Clinic has opened. It's a great clinic. I mean, it's now providing the health care that people need. You can go there. It's free. They will take care of you. You know, they will attempt to get you insured so it gets paid. But if it doesn't get paid, it doesn't get paid. That is a huge step forward. You know, we're also bringing in mental health facilities. That's a huge step forward. But ultimately, we've got Medical Main Street coming. It takes longer than I wish it did, but we are addressing it. We're going to have a new hospital. We're going to have a new medical facilities. The question is, how do we get the money from LA, which is what we really need? You know, like you heard it, you know, on the homeless thing. We get 18 cents back for what we give them. You know, we really are in many ways victimized by LA County. You know, we're the stepchild. We fight that every single day. But, you know, I don't like to sugarcoat these things. The federal government recognizes in 5 years, the country cannot provide health care to everyone. It's collapsing. It's mostly because of guys like me and Marvin. We're getting old, and we need a lot of health care. Oh, let's not.
He didn't say me. He didn't say me.
But it's other reasons. I mean, COVID has stressed the healthcare system so much, people have left it, and they're continuing to leave it. You know, we are facing a crisis that's going to be insurmountable. But the difference is, I think in Lancaster, we're working on ways to address it. And my wife and I funded a biotech that I think will have a huge impact on age-related diseases. But it's multifaceted. You got to hit it from many, many fronts. And ultimately, I think if we could just get people off the couch moving would be a huge thing. So we're moving in that direction. You know, we have a seniors moving group. That's what I call them, the seniors who move. That's the walking. Marvin and I were just working today on doing transportation so they can go to places, as long as they're moving. Pickleball courts are coming up throughout the city. But it really is 100 different things you have to do to address it. But this is Lancaster. We're not afraid to address problems. We're not afraid to be innovative in doing it. But they are community problems, and the more community engagement we get, the better. Okay?
All right. Thank you for letting me ask these questions, and I appreciate it. Have a good evening.
And next time, don't bring such a hard question.
Mayor Paris, can I just add on to what you
Sure.
said really quickly? Community engagement is so important. And again, thank you, Omar, and the rest of you for coming to this meeting, because this is how problems are solved. I used to be a poli-sci student on that end, and I'm up here. Just when you're taking these notes and you bring these back to your classrooms, I just want you to remember that you've heard a lot about different issues today from your mayor and from your council. Some of them you may agree with, some of them you may not agree with, some of them you wish were probably just said a different way. But understand the things that you do agree with and the things that make sense, there are people out there that are engaged every single day that are against it simply because he said it. And they're claiming to represent you. And so when you go back and you get your assignment and you get your grade, remember that this is how problems are solved. By coming, asking questions, how are things done, and then making your voice be heard. Well, I think this is how this should be done. And then together in the middle, that's how we create policy that solves problems for everybody. So again, thank you so much.
You want to know how you really make progress, how you really accomplish things, how you really have an impact on the world you live in? You have to bear the scorn. What he said is right. If it came out of my mouth, there's a lot of people out there that'll be against it, and they'll say outrageous things. I've always been able to bear it. I will continue to bear it. If you want to have an impact in your life, be able to bear it. That doesn't mean you get to ignore it. It doesn't mean it doesn't hurt when you read it. It means, can you bear it? I can bear it. I wish I didn't have to. But the joy I get from improving people's lives is so phenomenal. I'd probably bear anything to be able to continue to do it. Make sense to you? Thank you. Elisa Belize? Now, if your question is as hard as his,
We'll see.
Marvin will answer it.
Hello, my name is Alicia Velez, and I am a student at Antelope Valley Community College. I'm assigned today by my political science professor, Amaka Don, to ask a question. Before doing so, I will give some background on my question. In April of 2023, Antelope Valley Times released a story detailing the use of excessive force from a police officer or the police officer on school site on 16-year-old black student Michaela Robinson that occurred in 2021. ProPublica.org stated in 2022 that their data and the Inspector General Max Huntsman's data have both found, after reviewing Sheriff Department data for the 2019-20 school year, that black students at Antelope Valley High Schools are being disproportionately stopped and searched more than white students and punished more for the same crimes compared to white students. For example, the case of Terrell Pena in 2018. On August 23, 2023, ABC News described a story about a sheriff using excessive force on a black woman outside of Winco, slamming her to the ground. These charges have since been dropped on that said black woman. On August 26, 2023, Antelope Valley Press announced that Lancaster plans to hire its own police force. These are just a few examples of racial profiling done in our city. I understand that you do not support defunding the police, but my question is, with wanting to pour money into our police system, like the 6 brand new 2023 Dodge Durangos purchased for them, what will you be doing with these funds to ensure this new police force does not continue to carry out racially profiling people, underreporting stops and searches, and using excessive force, particularly on people of color? Also, what type of funding is being used to create more opportunities for counseling, rehabilitation, and family aid for the impoverished in our schools instead of implementing more police into those schools?
I'm sorry, give me that last part.
What type of funding is being used to create more opportunities for counseling, rehabilitation, and family aid for the impoverished in our schools, as opposed to more police officers on site of those campuses?
You're mixing two issues, and you're making them either or. And I don't think that's how it works. Does racial profiling occur? I think it does. Does it occur as much as you think it does? I don't. I think that most of what I've seen so far are procedural shifts we should be making. The Winco situation, ugly, looked horrible, looked really bad. And they were rolling on a robbery, not a shoplifting. Robbery usually means weapons. You know, did those deputies act disproportionate to the threat? I'm not sure. I don't know the answer to that. I know the one deputy did nothing wrong and still is under suspicion and investigation, and the FBI looking at it. And he did absolutely nothing wrong. He was perfect. You know, his suspect, he couldn't walk away from the suspect, couldn't just leave him there. The other one with the woman, I'm just not sure yet. I'm waiting for the investigation to conclude. But right now, what I'm seeing is poor procedures that he was following. I don't see where he violated any department policy. It was a robbery. It wasn't a shoplifting. Did it look terrible? Sure, it looked terrible. Should we do something about it? We should. We should change the policy. We should change how they're trained in that particular type of situation. Should we crucify the deputy for it? No. No. He was doing the job in the manner that he was taught to do it. And we should make that distinction if we want to see real progress in this way. Sean, one time in the social equity group, you know, everybody was telling me how they've been racially profiled. And they said it's always the same way, same story. Black man committed a robbery, you match they don't even say black man, you match the description. And I told Sean, you do. Black man under 40. It's the dispatching that is in error. The deputy that pulled him over, following procedures. You know, what we should be doing is having a weighted system. What is the crime involved? Do we want to risk pulling over innocent people unnecessarily given this particular crime? Kidnapping, rape, murder, I think everybody gets pulled over. Any type of, you know, pull me over if I in any way match that, because those are very serious crimes. Mm-hmm. The not so serious crimes, why are we pulling anybody over? You follow me? It's in the policies and procedures that these guys have to enforce. Now, are there some deputies that, you know, I prefer weren't here? Very few, but they do exist, and we have to weed them out, move them to someplace else. But what we have right now is an incredibly overworked sheriff's department that are sleep deprived, and we are asking them to do the impossible. And will mistakes be made? You can count on it. You cannot sleep deprive people and want them to make good decisions 16 hours a day. We're not capable of it. Human beings are not capable of it. And I think if we looked at it as a community that was all working towards the same goal, we would have a different view of these things. Does that make any sense at all?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you. Is that it?
I think you missed David Paul.
David Paul.
Mayor, I returned my time.
Good. Okay, we have closed session,
We do.
don't we? Yes. We do. Okay, I thought so. And we will be back if you want to wait, but when we come back, we just close the meeting. Thank you for coming. I hope it was worth your time.
The council will now
certainly-
move to close. Oh,
It was, what?
I was just doing the announcement. Sorry, I thought you were finished.
I'm done.
Okay. The council will now move to closed session, discuss closed session items 1 through 32, as stated on the agenda.
We will now reconvene the meeting. City Attorney, your announcement, please.
In closed session, the council took up agenda item closed session 32, gave direction to staff and legal counsel, no reportable action.
The next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, December 12, 2023 at 5 p.m. Meeting's adjourned. Carol, my day is done and I'm